Along, please. You're all good people. You'll get along. As you know, the biggest pleasure that God gets is when He sees His children getting along, and the biggest pain is when His children don't get along. And you know that.
That's why he killed all of Akiva's 24,000 students because
That's why they got killed. Yeah, because they had no Abbas Israel the way it was supposed to be. Anyways, guys, let's go a little bit. We got like maybe 10, 15 minutes. If you remember, we started learning about the laws of Lashon Hara 2 weeks ago, maybe three. Yeah, this week is the third week. So let me have your attention, please. We said that the Chafetz Chaim says if somebody constantly speaks Lashon Hara in his lifetime, probably is going to transgress 31 sins, right? 17 negative commandments and 14 positive commandments. So far, we have learned only 3 of them. Number 1, the speaker, there's also difference. Sometimes the speaker, sometimes the listener, sometimes both. So first of all, the Torah says, "Lo telech rachel," don't go around tale-bearing. And we said there are 4 levels in that. That's the first thing that the speaker transgresses. Then the Torah says, "Lo tisa," either do not accept false report. Tisa means accepting. That's a prohibition for the listener. And also, since there's no dots in the Torah, the Gemara says that you could read "Lo tasi," do not give false report, which is Lashon Hara. Third one is that God tells the Jewish people, be very careful not to get sarat. Hishamer lecha. Hishamer is always a negative thing. When it says watch out, means they don't transgress a negative thing, and that is do not speak Lashon Hara, not to get sarat, and that's only for the speaker. So far, if somebody speaks Lashon Hara, it transgresses 3 sins. It's 3 sins. Lo telech rachil, don't go tale-bearing. Lo tasi, don't give false report. And also be careful not to get sarat. Now we're going to go to number 4. Maybe you do number 4, 5, and 6. Can I have you pay attention? Because you want to play, go outside, come back for the pizza. Can we pay attention? Awesome. I have 4 eyes. I don't always see, but sometimes I see very well. I was a teacher, not a good one, but for 7, 8 years. And there was actually one time I saw a guy cheating and he had the papers, between his feet, so I just pulled it out. I said, I have to take a retest. So I was pretty good at it. I don't know if they like me, but anyways. So putting all the jokes aside, there's a prohibition in the Torah that says lifnei iver lo titan michshol. Do not put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Obviously, the Torah doesn't only mean literally a blind guy is walking, don't put a stone in front of him. Which guy would do that? It means that too, but that's not the only meaning. What it means is do not encourage somebody to do a sin. The famous example the Gemara brings, imagine a guy says, I'm a Nazir. I'm not going to drink wine. The guy says it. So I want to say, hey, here's a cup of wine for you. Do you want to drink it? Even though he has the choice to drink it or not, but I'm actually encouraging him, or I'm creating a possibility for him to do a sin. So if I create a possibility, I'm doing that avera. Do not put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. So the Chafetz Chaim says the speaker and the listener both transgress this sin. Why? Because if I don't stand and listen to the speaker, he can't speak Lashon Hara. The language of the Chafetz Chaim is who's going to talk to the wall? Nobody talks to the wall. Correct? So because I'm standing and I'm listening to him, I'm giving him the possibility to sin. That's the listener. The speaker too. When I say, I got some juicy Lashon Hara for you, come and listen. So I'm encouraging you to sin. So they're both actually sinning. But there's one major difference, Chafetz Chaim says. Imagine when I speak, there's only 1 person listening or there's 10 people listening. For the speaker, it doesn't make a difference how many guys are listening. I'm actually encouraging him to do a sin. And he says the more people listen, there's more of a bigger sin. But imagine, I'm telling you, Lashon Hara, you're listening, right?
No, I don't listen.
I know you don't, but I'm saying just dream that you're listening. Of course you don't listen. Come on. No Jews listen to Lashon Hara. We get deaf. We don't even hear it. Not only that I don't listen, I can't even hear it. No avera goes into the ears. So what happens is, imagine I'm talking to you, and in your dream you're listening to Lashon Hara, and then other guys come and listen too. So the other listeners are not sinning. This sin I'm talking about. Because whether you would have come or not, you're anyways encouraging me to listen, because you started listening to me. So as far as this sin goes, the first listener, or the first people that came at the same time, they do the avera, but the speaker, the more people listen, the bigger avera he does. Is that clear? Now somebody might say, who cares? Please, let's be. Who cares? I don't do this sin at least. Okay, I'm doing the sin of listening to Lashon Hara. But this one, I'm not doing an avera. I'm not stumbling him. I'm not putting a stumbling block in front of him because other people are listening. So there's actually a statement from the Midrash. There was a man, his name was Rabbi Eliezer Agadol. You have it in Pirkei Avos, right? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 students. One of them was Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol. He had a son, Hurkanes. And he said, anybody that sits and listens in Lashon Hara, to Lashon Hara, God writes their name and he puts it in a book, which is called the Book of Chaburat Resha, wicked people. I don't know what that accomplishes, honestly. It's a pretty bad thing, it looks like. Otherwise, they wouldn't write in the Midrash. But that is one of the sins that we do. So far, the other one is, if you speak or you listen, you're doing the Avera of Lotitan, Lifnei Ivel, Lotitan Mikshol. Don't put a stumbling block in front of somebody else. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Let's go to number 5. Any questions? By the way, if this accomplishes that we speak one Lashon Hara less, it's an accomplishment. Even though it's not perfect, but definitely it's an accomplishment. By the way, there was a story with somebody, in the old days, Chabad used to do a lot of Fabrengans. They still do, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you want to have fun, go to Chabad. They give you to drink, from Bar Mitzvah.
I know.
I never learned how to drink in Chabad. 2 things I never learned from Chabad. Drinking and eating herring. I hate them both. Gefilte fish I got used to. Yeah, because you put a lot of Quran.
Is it Lashon Hara if you say it in front of the person?
If there are other people around, it's a double bad because you're embarrassing him and you're saying Lashon. If nobody's around, if nobody's around, you're just embarrassing him. But if there are other people, for sure, it's Lashon Hara. Because other people are listening. What? Well, I'm reminding him of something wrong that he did. I caught you yesterday. You were eating non-kosher. I mean, that hurts him. Gets embarrassed. So anyways, guys, let's go to the next one. There's actually another commandment. Not everybody counts it. But there was one of the very holy people here. He wrote a Sefer Mitzvat Gadol, or the Smag. There's a Gemara. The Gemara is I think it's in Torah. The Gemara over there says, where do you find in the Torah that there is an Aveira to be a Baal Gaiva, to be arrogant? Really, it doesn't say anywhere that don't be arrogant. It's a bad thing. But the Gemara says, where do you learn it from? It says, Hishomer lecha. It says, be careful, pentishkach et Hashem elokecha, that you should not forget your God. So you cannot forget God, right? Another place says, pen veloram levavecha. Make sure you don't become arrogant, and you're going to forget God. So how do you come to forget God when I'm arrogant? So when the Torah says, do not forget God, it means do not be arrogant. Now, how in the world am I doing? So according to the Smag, Sefer Mitzvat Gadol, if I'm an arrogant person, I'm transgressing a negative commandment. Now, what does Lashon Hara have to do with being arrogant? What's the connection? Anybody, guys?
Because you're arrogant in the eyes of God because you didn't listen to His word.
But that's every sin, not only Lashon Hara. What's Lashon Hara? Why am I being more? There's something in Lashon Hara.
What does arrogant mean?
What?
What does arrogant mean?
You speak Hebrew?
Yeah.
Ba'al Ga'ava. Gasrua. A guy that feels he's superior than other people. I'm better than you.
Take them down. Yeah.
Exactly. If I'm saying something bad about you, that means I think I'm better than you. Because if I know I'm as bad as you, or whatever, I'm worse than you, why would I say Lashon Hara to you? Imagine I'm a big Lashon Hara speaker. Let's say I'm going to come to you, don't speak Lashon Hara. It's a joke. If I speak Lashon Hara myself, how could I have the right to tell you not to speak Lashon Hara? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm saying something bad about you, that means I feel I'm higher than you. I'm not like you, I'm better than you. So actually, I'm an arrogant person. I feel I'm better than you. So in that situation, if somebody speaks Lashon Hara, he's transgressing the avera of being a Baal Gaiva, being an arrogant person. Now, how bad is it to be arrogant? So bad. So you're arrogant. So bad.
Very bad. It gets you away from God.
Okay, every avera gets away from God, but this gets away from God worse. You're right. So let's go through what?
Also, next time, if you keep showing off what you have and saying,
we talk about the, I'm not saying showing off. I'm saying I'm arrogant. It could be I feel I'm better than you, but I don't show up anything.
That's still arrogance, is there?
That means I feel I'm superior to you.
What if you know you're actually better than someone? Like in your head, you know.
You know that, okay.
You're not better than
no. It's a good question. Anybody higher than Moshe Rabbeinu?
No.
Who was the most humble man on earth?
Moshe Rabbeinu.
How did he accomplish both?
But I think he also knew that he was good. Like
he knew, but he didn't feel arrogant. He didn't feel arrogant. Humble means
be humble.
Right.
Good.
Exactly.
He had less opportunity
The
to be
Torah
arrogant
says.
because everything he thought about himself was true.
What was that?
He had less opportunity to be arrogant because everything he thought about himself was true.
Well, there's a little bit of a different explanation. He knew whatever he accomplished was a gift of God. If somebody would have given the same soul of Moshe Rabbeinu to somebody else, that guy would be like Moshe Rabbeinu, maybe even better. By the way, the Torah says Moshe was the most humble man. Hello, Rabbi. You asked me a question. It says Binyamin is the most humble. I didn't see anywhere. The Torah says Moshe is Anav. Binyamin was sin-free. He died without doing any sins. I never knew. Yeah, it is. There's the four people. One was Yishai, father of David HaMelech. One is Binyamin. One was Evet, whatever it's. Amram put in one of them, and the other one was Baruch ben Neriah, the student of Yirmiyah Navi. There might be more, but I'm just saying these are the four that I remember. If I made a mistake, please forgive me. Because as a child, they overcome their Yetzer Hara. They have no evil inclination whatsoever. That's why there's only a few people you can count with the fingers. Anyways, guys, what's so bad to be arrogant? So let's go through a couple things and then we're going to stop. Number one, it says whoever is going to be arrogant, the Gemara says, "Ein afronin ar," his dust will not shake. Simply, it means when Mashiach is going to come, he will not be resurrected. Okay, that's what the Gemara says. Now, Tosfot, anybody mostly Sfardim here, guys? We're going to learn a chidush of the Ben Ish Chai, the way he argues on Tosfos. So this is not thing on Daf Hey, Masechta Soita. So Tosfos says somebody is arrogant, his dust is not going to shake. That means there's no resurrection for him. You know, Masechta Sanhedrin in Perek Achele counts all the people that have no share in the world to come. They won't have resurrection, but one of them is not an arrogant person. So Tosfos says, how could the Gemara say over here that if somebody is arrogant, his dust will not shake, meaning that he's not going to be resurrected? If that's true, why does the Mishnah and Sanhedrin, the 11th Perek, not count an arrogant person as somebody that won't be resurrected? Tosfos says by question. You have come across those Tosfos and there's no answer. Though sometimes it happens, Tosfos has no answer. Yeah, whenever Tosfos says Tema, like a huge question, Im Toimar is not such a big question. It's a question, but there's an answer. When it says Tema, it means like it's a wonder. So sometimes there's no answer to it. At least Tosfos is not the answer. So the Ben Ish Chai comes and says, I have a question. He argues on Tosfos. In Mishnah Sanhedrin says these people don't have Chelek le'olam haba. Here doesn't say an arrogant person doesn't have a share in the world to come. He says his dust doesn't shake. Well, it says the dust doesn't shake. Simply means, okay, his body won't get up. If the body comes out of the earth, the dust will shake. But it should have said he has no share in the world to come. So it says he has a share in the world to come. But there's a difference, he says. Imagine a person is dead tired and he goes to bed. When you get up, no pain. You feel refreshed. Imagine somebody's put into surgery, God forbid. So they have to put anesthesia or whatever, they make him numb. After he comes out and the numbness goes away, there is a lot of pain. It's going to take time for the pain to go away. So now when somebody dies, even if he did other averes, once he goes through the, purification of Gehenna, so to speak, when he gets up by the resurrection, he doesn't feel any impurity of his sins. They have been completely forgiven. But if he's arrogant, it says the dust doesn't shake. The dust means the sins that he went on the dust with. He's going to still feel the pain. It's going to take him a while to get rid of the pain of being arrogant, even after he's resurrected. So it says he has share in the world to come, but there's a residue, something left from the Avera. So that's number one. Very bad thing to be arrogant. By the way, in books of Chassidus, in Kabbalah Svarim says, if somebody is arrogant, arrogance takes a person lower than somebody that is Machal Shabbos. The worst impurities come when somebody is arrogant. I mean, it's very scary. That means somebody could be Talmid Chacham, could keep Shabbos, everything. But if he feels I'm better than all you guys, he's lower than somebody that doesn't even keep Shabbos yet. Another thing the Gemara says, if somebody is arrogant, he's serving idols. Why? Because, Avodah Zarah is not that I just deny God. Guys, why is Christianity Avodah Zarah for us? Because they said there is more than one God. There's three parts. Whatever it is. We don't believe in that. It says Hashem Echad, there is only one God. They said there is God, there's the Spirit in the middle, and then the Son. If somebody feels arrogant, he's saying there is God, but it's me too. I'm somebody. If I believe whatever I have is a blessing of God, what's it to be arrogant about? I have nothing. I have brains, God gave me brains. I have money, God made me successful. I'm healthy, God gave me the health. What are you arrogant about? He's not yours. So if somebody is arrogant, he's saying, I'm somebody. Yeah, God is God, but I'm somebody too. So that's considered to be Avodah Zarah. And another thing that it says, by the way, if I say Lashon Hara in front of other people about my friend and I'm embarrassing him, since it's in front of him, somebody that embarrasses his friend or actually enjoys it, he doesn't have a share in the world to come. Thank you for listening. Please do not stand up. Don't stand up, guys. In your seats. On purpose, I promise, I bought 10 pies. So, don't worry about it. Money is not an issue, Baruch Hashem. Please leave your seats. We'll give it to you, please. Leave your seats, guys. Leave your seats. There's 10 tables here. Thank you, guys. You're awesome. Shimon.
Yo, give me a five. Shimon.
I said, leave your seat. Yeah, guys.
Give me a five. I think it's
Open one pack. Don't
Got it five.
Oh, it's not me that.
Hey, Thunder.
It's over here.